It's a tale as old as Kings Canyon. You've landed on some awesome loot with your team, you're geared up and ready to shoot, but there's no one around. So you grab every last piece of collectible gear in the area, run towards the sound of bullets, only to get absolutely dumped on by the first team you encounter. This has happened to all of us, but today we vow never again. It's time to work on those tactics and hone you and your team into an efficient and lethal unit, rather than becoming a delivery service of hand-picked artisanal gear for your enemies. So listen well and prepare to absorb some helpful hints and tips instead of grenades and bullets. Tactics begin from the moment you board the dropship, as choosing when and where to hurl yourself out is key to setting the pace of your game. Jumping early will almost guarantee you a quick engagement, as we're heading to a blue zone. But while this might not seem like the safest of approaches, there is a lot to be said for jumping in where the action's hot, especially as a beginner. Not only will it give you more practice with gunplay and thinking quickly on your feet, but it'll give you an opportunity to get hold of better armor and weapons faster, provided you come out on top.
Double timing it.
Alternatively, if you fancy a slightly slower start to the game and the chance to loot in relative peace, then pick a more remote part of the map away from the path of the dropship. And remember, if you want to travel far, the key is to swan dive, dipping down for speed and then gliding out for maximum distance. Regardless of your spice level, take a moment to enjoy the view as you descend. And by that, I mean see who's diving with you. And if it looks like you'll be landing at the same location as another team, don't panic. Keep an eye on where they drop and try to land fairly close to your other teammates. Not too close that you're chasing the same gear, mind you, but close enough that if you or your buddies get in an early fight, the other two can pile in double time and help out. But what if you land very close to an enemy? Still, no panicking. Remember, you're landing already equipped with the greatest weapon of all, tactics. Also, your fists. Punching does decent damage, and if you can gang up 3-on-1, then that human punch bag doesn't stand a chance. But wait, what if you land 1-on-1 at the same bin? Panic time then, surely? No, never. While the temptation is to focus on opening the bin and snatching the goodies inside, wait for your opponent to open it, and then immediately clock them across the head with a melee to knock them away from that precious loot they were about to grab. This loot is now your loot, and with it, you can shoot them. Poetry. Much like in life, arriving late to the party is very much the cool and correct thing to do. So, if you hear two enemy squads going at it, try to time your involvement just as the winning team comes out on top. Then say congratulations by immediately attacking while they're still injured, and mop up those short-lived champions with a few easy shots. That's how you third party. If anyone asks, they were at full health when we got here. But what if you spot a team across the map who are presumably full of guns and health? Well, try to position yourself before the fight with every advantage you can. High ground is almost always a good idea, and the same goes for having a wall or barrier to your back. And if you can get close unnoticed, call out a single enemy to focus fire on, and then all let rip on the count of 3. Communicating with your team throughout any battle is essential in Apex Legends, whether that be on voice chat or through contextual ping. You may have seen an enemy and started hurling bullets at them, but there's no guarantee your friends have any idea what's going on. A helpful ping on the other team will alert yours which way to point their guns. Once the fight is underway, there are a number of things you can do to help give you the edge. First off, try not to get caught out in the open. As the saying goes, a coverless legend is a dead legend. It does. Look it up. Once the bullets start flying, don't stand still. A moving target is much harder to hit. So, straight, left to right, jump in the air, crouch, slide, it doesn't matter. Just keep moving. Obviously, the best answer to incoming bullets is cover, so try to play around cover wherever you can. exposing as little of yourself as possible when shooting and getting back behind cover to reload. Combining cover and movement together is the real way to vex your enemies. Don't retreat around a corner just to wait for the chaser to follow you for the finishing shot. Instead, keep moving. Are you playing around a vehicle? Climb over it. Just keep moving so they lose track of where you've gone. Soon enough, you'll end up at their back, ready to ruin their day. Movement really is crucial in Apex Legends, and one way to make this easier on yourself is to consider switching up your controller layout early on. A common setup is Button Puncher, which swaps crouch and melee. Now you can duck and slide by clicking in the right analog stick, meaning you never have to take your thumb away from the directional controls while you move. There are a few different options depending on your playstyle, so be sure to give them a try. A battle is a hectic and distracting place, and it can be easy to get zoned in on shooting guns and forgetting your abilities entirely. Try to get into the habit of using your ability at least once per fight to see where it proves most effective. Whether it's a scan, smoke, heal, grapple, or dome, try and support the team with more than just bullets. Also, throw grenades. They can kill or flush out enemies from a hiding place, and your buddies will thank you for it.
I'm not thanking you.
Well, some of them might. When your gun does run empty in a tense face-to-face fight, you reload, right? Wrong. Swapping to your second gun is much faster and can make all the difference to get those final critical shots. Now when you eliminate your opponent, it's likely your shields will be shredded. Time to pop a shield cell or battery, right? Wrong again. Armor swapping is always the better option as it's much faster. Plus, stealing is really cool. This is most important when you have a downed teammate to revive. The temptation may be to dash to their aid, reassuring them with soothing words and, ow, a sharp needle to the heart. Instead, make sure you swipe a fresh shield before you go for the revive, just in case a third party's on the way. Finally, sometimes a fight may just take a turn for the worst. So before you transition to a new life as a rectangle full of gear, now it is time to panic, but an organized kind of panic. A well-managed retreat means the chance to heal up, reposition, and live to fight another day. After all, there's no shame in fleeing. Well, maybe a little shame, but less shame than being executed by a robot. As a rule, try and create enough distance between you and the enemy to cover the time it takes to use a healing item. If it's a shield battery, try getting 5 seconds between you. For a Phoenix kit, you'll want to almost double that distance. It can be so frustrating seeing 1 or 2 seconds left on the heal as the enemy strolls over to pop a few last shots into you. Well done, there's only a few squads left, and your team is still one of them. But how to ensure you become the champions? The key now is all about choosing where you want to make your epic last stand. Take a look at your minimap and use your contextual ping to see where is and isn't going to be safe. Ping. That's in the ring. So if we can trap an enemy there, they're going to get cooked. As the final ring closes, you can also predict where the teams will be forced together. This is an ideal time to save your ultimates for. Rain down some destruction, haze the area with gas, and make it a nightmare for your enemies to make it to safety. Any last grenades can also go in here for some mega damage. But be cautious around that ring. One thing to absolutely avoid here is getting trapped in a building or behind a wall. You could have the beefiest squad with all the coolest guns, but if that one single player is on the right side of the ring, that's all it takes to secure victory. Thanks, Ring.
No problem.
Wait, you can talk? Whatever play you make, push together no matter what. Oh, and most importantly, don't miss your shots.